Imagine if I were to share with you the revelation that the age-old philosophy of Stoicism holds the solution to achieving a more resilient, focused, and fulfilling life. What if I were to impart to you the knowledge that Stoicism has the potential to completely transform your life, freeing you from the shackles of stress, anxiety, and uncertainty? Can you trust me enough to consider this possibility? With that in mind, I encourage you to approach this with an open mind and stay engaged until the very end, so you can offer your insights. Are you prepared to embark on this transformative journey? Let's start. Did you know that Stoicism, a philosophy that emerged over 2,000 years ago, offers us invaluable tools to thrive in our contemporary world? This philosophy teaches us how to cultivate contentment and resilience by embracing virtues such as wisdom, courage, and self-control, and by recognizing that we have control over our reactions to external events. We will delve into the heart of Stoicism and explore its origins, key concepts, and the lives of the Stoic philosophers and the lessons by which they practiced it. More importantly, we'll uncover practical strategies derived from Stoic teachings that you can apply to your life immediately. First of all, what does "don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm" mean? It's a strong warning not to fall into the trap of unnecessary kindness, a reminder that self-care and kindness should go hand in hand. But in today's rush to be liked and always be the one who helps, many people have turned the good deed of kindness into a habit that hurts their self-esteem. People often tell us to go the extra mile and push our limits for other people, but how much is too much? Kindness is not a virtue when it drains your own resources, energy, and health. It is a way to ruin yourself. Many people have lost their way and have given so much that they feel empty, unappreciated, and worn out. In this modern tragedy, people who mean well end up doing terrible things. Picture yourself as someone who is always willing to help others and never says no, giving away parts of yourself until there are none left. Being kind to other people is important, but being kind to yourself is even more important. Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, always reminds us that taking care of ourselves is our first duty. We can't really be there for other people without it. Think about the story of two gardeners who lived next door to each other. One took great care of their own garden, and the other, even though they had their own plot, often helped take care of other people's gardens. Knowing the value of self-care, the diligent gardener gave their garden the right amount of care and resources, making it a vibrant and growing place. This gardener's plot not only brought them joy, but they also had extra food to share with their neighbors. The other gardener, on the other hand, spent so much time and energy on other people's gardens that they forgot about their own. They didn't take good care of their garden, so it died and didn't produce much. They forgot about their own needs while trying to help others, which left their garden, and in a way themselves, empty. This is a reminder to think about what you want to do before you start helping other people. Ask yourself if this help will last. Are you taking care of your health by establishing healthy boundaries and making sure that in our efforts to be kind, we don't forget to be kind to ourselves? The ancient Stoics would advise us to practice Stoicism. You can't pour from a cup that's not full, after all. Stoicism says that you should keep your inner peace and honesty while also making the lives of others better. This will help you and the people you want to help live a balanced and satisfying life. Secondly, being friendly with someone has an end date. Generosity is a good trait that makes our lives and the lives of those around us better, but it can also be dangerous if we don't use moderation. Stoicism still speaks to us today with wisdom and teaches us a crucial lesson about the boundaries of kindness. It's good to help others with an open heart, but it can be disappointing to expect the same level of kindness in return. Life often shows us that the good things we do today might not be remembered tomorrow. This isn't a sign of how valuable we are or how valuable our actions are. It's just how people naturally remember and feel grateful for things. Giving something away is like planting a tree. You take good care of it, hoping it will grow and maybe give you shade or fruit one day. Nature does what it does though. Storms, droughts, and the seasons all happen in the same way. When we show kindness, we should let go of the expectation of getting something in return. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, told us to think about our actions instead of how they turn out. He told us that we can't always control what happens, and that this should remind us that the joy of giving should come from the act itself, not from hoping to get something in return. We are protected from the pain of unfulfilled expectations when we adopt this mindset. It develops our emotional resilience so that we can keep being kind and generous without getting worn out or feeling exploited. This doesn't mean we should make our hearts tough. It means we need to find balance. Do not see the effect of your kindness as a transaction, but as a reflection of who you are. Not only do we protect our peace of mind, but we also grow a kind of generosity that is pure, self-sustaining, and truly satisfying. This Stoic principle tells us to give freely but wisely, so that our kindness makes us better no matter what other people do. How can you use the Stoic principle of giving without expecting anything in your daily life? Even if our intentions are good, giving too much help can stunt growth without meaning to. This wisdom was encapsulated by the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations. A man's job is to stand upright, not to be kept upright by others. Seneca, who had a lot of knowledge about how people connect with each other, said, "He who becomes your friend because of the benefit will also stop because of the benefit." This is a powerful reminder to build relationships based on real connections instead of transactions. Friendship and help shouldn't depend on what we can give each other, but on how much we respect and understand each other. Keep in mind that taking care of our own needs is not selfish. It's a necessary part of modern life. When we don't set clear limits, we leave ourselves open to being taken advantage of by people who see our kindness not as a strength, but as a chance to gain something. This cycle of overextending ourselves and being taken advantage of drains us, making us feel unappreciated and overworked. However, things change when we start to firmly say no. We're not the first people to come to you with any needs or requests. Being assertive shows that we value our time and energy, which makes others respect us in return. Seneca said it best: "What you think of yourself is much more important than what others think of you." By setting limits and saying no, we not only protect our mental and emotional health, but we also gain respect from those around us. Remember that the word no has the power to change things. It shows how much you value yourself and how much respect you expect from others. Adopt this mantra and see how it changes the way your relationships work, promoting respect based on self-worth and dignity. You may not know this, but people often respect us more when we are strong enough to say no. This is a strange but true psychological fact. This contradictory effect shows how self-respect can change things and how important it is to be careful in our relationships. Stoic wisdom not only keeps us from getting burned out, but it also helps us build relationships that are mutually beneficial. Give it a thumbs up if you think you've learned something useful so far. Let's now discuss ways to stay safe from being used by others and from the negative effects of excessive kindness. Seneca said it best: "Kindness is a treasure. A benefit should be kept like a buried treasure, to be unearthed only in case of necessity." How to master your mind. In this part of the video, there is no judgment. Instead, there is an invitation to awaken a power that most people don't use, the power of your mind and the mastery of your thoughts. We will look at how to master your mind in a world where many people have trouble with it through the lens and wisdom of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let's look at how to use Marcus's words to gain mental strength. First, don't care what other people think. Don't care what other people think. Pay attention to your mind instead. One important part of mastering your own mind is letting go of how other people see you. This takes your attention away from the noise of the world and toward the clarity of your own thoughts. The first step on this journey is to realize that the only thing you really control is your mind. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. Marcus Aurelius said in a reflection that perfectly captures this sentiment, "Imagine a world where any criticism or unasked opinion about the choices you make is drowned out by the sound of your own self-awareness. This isn't about building a wall around your ego. It's about growing a garden in your mind, where your own values and beliefs feed the seeds of your thoughts, instead of other people's judgments stomping on them." To master your mind, you have to get rid of these outside influences. This will let your true self grow without the need for approval from others. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials, said Lucius Annius Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher. The second lesson on our path to mind mastery: building emotional resilience is inspired by this philosophy. In this fast-paced world, getting around is like exploring a dangerous but exciting trail where problems and difficulties are bound to happen every day, just like the sun rising every morning. You may occasionally find yourself caught in the thorny vines of hardships, anxiety, or heartbreak as you walk along this never-ending path called life. These are not signs of weakness. They are chances to build a strong, unwavering resilience. Failures that happen along your journey are not just small disappointments. They are valuable lessons that come in the form of temporary defeat. Use the strength you already have to turn every problem into a chance to grow. We understand that it's not easy to do. You were given a dangerous climb, so it makes sense that you would fall apart under its weight. Instead, consider how you could use this adversity to your advantage and lead you closer to your goals. Third, use the power of how you see things. You are walking along a familiar path, a regular trail that you have been on many times before. A moment of unexpected chaos in your otherwise well-planned day occurs when your foot slips and you find yourself stumbling. But what if you could train yourself to see the step instead of the drop? This is similar to Epictetus's resolute wisdom, who said, "Men are not troubled by things, but by the view they have of things." Perception is like a window to the outside world. It helps us understand what we see. It's simple to forget that we can change how we see the world around us, especially when things are hard or unclear. When life throws you into rough seas, it doesn't always mean you're going to drown. It could just mean you're being given a chance to learn how to swim. You should steer your mind toward thoughts that help you instead of ones that hurt you, like an experienced captain guiding a ship through a storm. This reminds us of the Stoic saying, "The real man is revealed in difficult times." Fourth, follow what nature tells you to do. Have you ever been through something that threw your inner compass off, like being fired without warning, losing a loved one suddenly, or getting turned down for a job? Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, "Life is nothing but change, and change is nature's delight." This ties in with the fourth lesson of our journey to master our minds. Do what nature says. Uncertainty and change are necessary for life, but they are not necessarily harmful to tranquility. On the contrary, these sudden changes in the wind of fate give us chances to adapt and grow. When you don't know what will happen, don't freeze up in despair or let fear cloud your judgment. Instead, move forward with the knowledge that change is a normal part of life. We can navigate life's turbulent undercurrents with serenity if we align ourselves with nature's ebb and flow. Do we curse the skies if Mother Nature lets it rain on a sunny day or throws a storm into a clear night sky? We don't think so because we know that everything is natural and out of our control. This is how we should deal with life's rough waves, accept them and adapt with resilience. You can experience a level of tranquility and empowerment that is unmatched by accepting the flow of life and sailing with the tides of change. Nature and life itself are not things that we can change to fit our needs. Instead, we need to learn how to flow with them naturally and gracefully without losing sight of who we are. Fifth, be disciplined with yourself. Think about your life so far and how it has changed you. You've probably come across distractions that made you want to go off track, like wanting to binge watch your favorite show instead of studying for an exam, or having one too many slices of that delicious cake while you're trying to stay on track with your diet. The nobility of their ambitions and the strength of their self-discipline was a thought that the great Stoic philosopher Seneca had. This is a beautiful reflection of another important lesson in mastering your mind. Practice self-discipline. To become self-mastered, we must first understand and admit how important self-discipline is for protecting our life goals. It's the shield that keeps us from losing our valuable time and energy to other things. It's like a skilled gardener who always takes care of a huge number of colorful flower beds. It doesn't matter how pretty those rose bushes are, they'll take just as much care of their tulips and sunflowers. How then does one cultivate such minds? Pay close attention to times when temptations try to steer you wrong. When you see these things, don't look at them with a harsh eye of judgment. Instead, see them as normal parts of life. When you know what distracts you from your path, it's easier to come up with ways to stop these distractions. Like a gardener who grows different flowers, you need to be able to see and deal with each distraction with unwavering determination. From avoiding the temptations we face in our personal lives to building mental toughness for work, self-discipline is, without a doubt, one of the most important building blocks of mind mastery. When you feel like giving up or giving in to temptation is strong, remember Epictetus's wise words. No great thing is created suddenly. Practicing self-discipline is the same way. It's a journey that never ends and requires constant attention and effort. Sixth, enjoy the present moment. Have you ever been so caught up in thinking about a regret or a worry that you forgot to enjoy the beauty of the moment and the sunset? Too often people have the flaw of being physically here but mentally somewhere else. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not let the panorama of your life oppress you. Do not dwell on all the different problems that may have happened in the past or may happen in the future. Just think about the present and what can fix it." We should try to enjoy life as it happens, one precious moment at a time. Every breath we take and every feeling we have should bring us back to the present moment. Don't think about a finished chapter in the past or an unwritten chapter in the future. These thoughts take away from the power and beauty of living in and enjoying the present. Instead of dwelling on things that are out of your control, enjoy the present and apply your energy to make it better in the here and now. Time doesn't wait for anyone, and it always slips through our fingers, leaving us walking a thin line between our memories of the past and our hopes for the future. To find the real power of life, though, we have to realize that right now is all we have. Let yourself enjoy every sunrise and every compliment you get. Enjoy every cup of coffee you drink and fully engage yourself in every conversation. Enjoy every single moment of the present. It's not enough to just accept what's happening right now. You have to actively immerse yourself in it. It's about enjoying every part of today without letting the shadows of yesterday or the unknowns of tomorrow dim its light. At the moment, it's about getting hungry, so live as if you were already living for the second time, and as if you had acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now, says Seneca. Mastering your mind begins with mastering this very moment. Follow this philosophy and be amazed at how it can change you. 7th, make or join a group of people who can help you grow. A hiker by himself or herself climbing the highest cliff in the middle of a forest that never ends. The view from above might be beautiful, but the journey by yourself can be very quiet and lonely. Now, instead of that lone hiker, think of a group of explorers on the same trip. The ordeal seems a lot less scary now, doesn't it? In his timeless Stoic wisdom, Marcus Aurelius said, "Mankind are made for each other, either to teach them better or bear with them." This is a very important lesson for mastering your mind. Communities are supportive places where people with similar interests and values can learn from each other. You can increase the collective force behind each step toward your goals by collaborating with people who have the same goals in mind as you do. An uplifting community is one where people can teach and learn, be inspired and inspire, and be motivated and motivated. Let's leave the realm of metaphors for a moment and go on this trip. You see a chance to join a book club. Don't think twice, just do it. You'll be intellectually satisfied and help other people do the same. You meet other people on this journey to mental mastery, and you decide to work together with them. As important as it is to grow as a person, it's also important to help others. Building or being a part of communities that support each other's growth is good for everyone. It helps you grow personally and also helps the group move forward. Seneca tells us, associate with people who are likely to make you better. In the end, you are empowering yourself while empowering others on their own mental mastery journey, a sign of our progress together on this path of life. You are more likely to embrace innovation and make the most of your current skills if you keep your mind open. This could mean learning new things, expanding your knowledge in different areas, and getting better at the things you already know how to do. Being open to constructive feedback is a big part of continuing to grow intellectually. Instead of seeing feedback as something that could hurt your self-esteem, you see it as a chance to learn and grow. Your point of view is very valuable, and you know that the people around you can teach you a world of wisdom. 8th, accept failure and use it to learn. If you want to be smarter than other people, you need to accept that failure is a part of the way to success. It's possible to gain useful insights, learn from your mistakes, and get stronger when you fail. Failure is not a setback, it is a way to move forward. Failure teaches us something, gives us a chance to think, and gives us a chance to get better. 9th, learn how to think critically. Critical thinking means being able to look at, judge, and make sense of information in a way that is fair and makes sense. It helps you question what you think you know, see things from different points of view, and make smart choices. To get a better understanding of complicated issues and solve problems effectively, you need to work on your critical thinking skills. It means having an open mind, being skeptical, and being intellectually interested. To improve your critical thinking skills, you need to be intellectually humble, ready to admit when you're wrong, and willing to change your mind if new information comes along. Being intellectually honest, avoiding biases, and trying to think about all the relevant information before concluding are also important. Learning how to think critically makes you a smarter and more analytical thinker who can handle the complicated world we live in with ease and confidence. You have more information to help you make smart choices, solve problems, and make a meaningful contribution to society. 10th, learn how to listen actively. Active listening is an important skill for getting things done and growing as a person. It means giving the speaker your full attention, listening carefully, and trying to see things from their point of view. To listen actively, you need to understand, be patient, and keep an open mind. Giving the speaker your full attention means being in the present moment and putting other things aside. Lastly, how would you like to live your life? Even though this question seems simple, it gets to the heart of who we are and forces us to face the cycles of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking that have trapped generations in a web of unrealized potential. This quiet time to think about yourself is where the path to greatness starts, not by making big promises or setting lofty goals, but by making a deep, unwavering promise to yourself, a promise to change, to grow, and to break out of the never-ending cycle that has trapped us. Stoic philosophers gave us a way to get through this dangerous terrain. By following the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, Epicurus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do," which sums up the main idea of Stoic philosophy. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and a lot of overthinking on the way to becoming a great person. The Stoics said that the first step to becoming great is to think about yourself and tell yourself what you want to become. But this isn't just about making plans or goals. It's about figuring out how to be the kind of person you really want to be, in line with nature and virtue. You have to picture the version of your character who always does the right thing no matter what the world's chaos, pressures, and temptations are like. The first lesson is that perception is reality and inner peace. The first and maybe most important thing that Stoicism teaches us is how powerful our thoughts are. Being able to stay focused on our inner compass is very important in a world full of distractions and outside pressures. We have the power to challenge the status quo, rise above mediocrity, and make a way for greatness. When we are in charge of our thoughts and feelings, the first step to breaking out of the cycle of mediocrity and becoming a great person is to realize that our perceptions have the power to change our reality. We give ourselves the tools we need to handle life's challenges with poise and resilience by adopting the Stoic principles of emotional mastery, reason, and focus. This path isn't simple, and there are things that could get in the way. However, we grow and change as a result of the challenges we face. We can choose to see challenges as insurmountable obstacles or as chances for development and learning. At any given time, this choice, which may not seem important by itself, has a big impact on the course of our lives. We can prepare for the ups and downs of life by adopting the Stoic practice of seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. This change doesn't just affect how we think about life, it also changes how we actually live it. We stop seeing each day as a set of problems that need to be solved and start seeing it as a chance to practice good qualities like patience, resilience, and courage. This lesson challenges us to rethink how we relate to the world. Despite its straightforward wording and revolutionary implications, the idea behind it is that our minds are where real battles happen that make us great. Breaking the cycle of mediocrity starts with how we see things. To do this, we need to not only understand Stoic principles, but also be resolute in our efforts to live by them in every part of our lives. The second lesson is about becoming stronger by accepting what happens, called resilience. Stoicism is a powerful way to learn how to accept fate and break out of the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking that often gets in the way of our success. This old philosophy says that we can choose how to react to things that happen to us, even if we can't change the things themselves. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius tells us to accept that everything that happens to us is part of the universe's larger, more rational order. Accept the things that fate binds you, he says, emphasizing how important it is to accept our situations with courage and tranquility. This acceptance is not passive giving up. It is an active participation in life. Accepting fate is more than just putting up with life's ups and downs. It means recognizing where we are now and striving for excellence within those limits. It means actively appreciating them as important parts of our growth. This viewpoint challenges us to see every setback and disappointment as a chance to put virtues like patience, resilience, and perseverance into practice. Because of this, we change how we feel about failure so that we don't see it as the end, but as a step towards success. This change in how people think is very important for breaking the cycles of hopelessness and underachievement that last for generations. Failure teaches us that our power is not in avoiding it, but in how we deal with it, which helps us develop a mindset that is focused on learning and getting better all the time. Additionally, this lesson from Stoicism tells us to stop overthinking, which stops us from acting and makes us unhappy. Life's challenges can be handled in a balanced way if we accept our fate and work hard within our sphere of influence. Finding this balance between accepting things as they are and taking action is what will help us reach our goals and reach our full potential. It keeps us from getting stuck in analysis paralysis and lets us move forward even when we don't know what will happen. Using this Stoic wisdom in our daily lives builds up our resilience, which not only helps us deal with the challenges of our own journeys, but also frees us from the limits that previous generations put on us, creating a plan for a future filled with accomplishments, happiness, and wins. The third lesson is about using the power of the present moment to break out of the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. You have to be deeply involved with the present moment. Stoicism teaches us the importance of living in the present moment, not as a way to avoid facing life's challenges, but as a way to do so with clarity and focus. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without worrying about the future." This wisdom encourages us to change our focus from what was or what might be to what is. We can free our minds from the web of overthinking that keeps us stuck in imagined futures and past regrets by focusing on the present. This lets us act decisively and effectively. To embrace the present moment is not just to passively acknowledge it, it means to actively interact with it. As Stoicism, we must carefully watch our thoughts, actions, and feelings to figure out which ones we can change and which ones we have to accept. Becoming more aware of the many chances we have at all times to be good, make progress toward our goals, and make the changes we want to see in our lives is possible when we are mindful. We can break the cycles of mediocrity that have ruled our lives and generations by acting in the present. Every moment gives you a choice. Give in to the old patterns of disappointment and inaction, or rise with purpose and action. Being present also teaches us how to walk the thin line between wanting more and being happy with what we have. Even though Stoicism tells us to strive for excellence, it also tells us not to tie our happiness to reaching future goals. We can develop a sense of satisfaction that isn't saved for future success, but is felt right now by finding value in the process and in the small steps we take every day. This method lessens the disappointment that comes from not getting what you want and the paralysis that comes from thinking too much about all the possible outcomes. We can change our reality develop resilience against the tides of mediocrity, and pave the way for long-term success as we learn to live fully in each moment. The fourth lesson is about the virtues of self-reflection and always getting better. Stoicism introduces the crucial practices of self-reflection and ongoing improvement in the effort to break the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. Epicurus, a Stoic philosopher, says that we should think about and reflect on our actions and thoughts every day. He says that self-reflection is the only way to see our true selves without the chaos and confusion of the outside world getting in the way. This practice of self-reflection is a powerful way to find the patterns and habits that hold us back and keep us unhappy and unfulfilled. When we regularly think about our actions and choices and how they relate to our core values and goals, we start a process of continuous personal evolution. With each reflection, we get closer to our ideal selves. Self-reflection isn't just a way to find flaws or shortcomings, though. It's also a way to really improve yourself. It means putting our egos aside, being humble and honest about our character and actions, and being ready to admit when we fall short of our Stoic ideals. We have to be open and brave during this process because it forces us to face painful truths about ourselves. Still, it is in this discomfort that we grow. We develop the virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance when we accept our flaws and work to improve our character. When we follow these virtues, they show us the way out of mediocrity and toward excellence. Also, the Stoic practice of self-reflection teaches us to stop thinking too much. By directing our thoughts toward positive self-evaluation and taking steps to get better, we learn not to be afraid of making bad choices. Instead, we make the best choices we have access to at the time, learn from the results, and improve the way we make decisions over time. We develop a proactive mindset through this ongoing cycle of action, reflection, and change, which helps us move toward our goals with clarity and purpose. When we make this a regular part of our lives, we not only break free from mediocrity, but also start a lifelong journey of personal growth and fulfillment, building a legacy of success that goes beyond the limits of our past. The fifth lesson is about learning how to be disciplined and control yourself. Strive for discipline and self-control. These Stoic virtues will help you get past deep-seated patterns of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. These virtues are necessary to develop a mindset and way of life that will lead to success and happiness. One of the most important figures in Stoic thought, Epicurus, says that the way to freedom is not to seek freedom itself, but to develop discipline and self-control. This seemingly contradictory wisdom says that controlling your actions and desires is the first step to having real control over your life and its outcomes. By following strict rules in our daily actions, thoughts, and routines, we give ourselves the tools we need to break free from the chains of laziness and procrastination that keep us from reaching our goals. In the Stoic sense, discipline is more than just following rules or schedules without question. It's about putting yourself in a state of balance that fits with your values and goals. It takes work to pick the harder right over the easier wrong, to wait for bigger rewards instead of smaller ones, and to stay focused when life is full of distractions. Our ability to self-regulate and organize ourselves is what helps us handle life's challenges with grace and direct our efforts effectively toward our goals. That being said, self-control is the skill of managing your feelings and wants in a way that helps your progress instead of getting in the way. It means having the inner strength to resist temptations in the short term in order to achieve long-term success. Also, learning discipline and self-control is a powerful way to treat the problem of overthinking. When we train ourselves to act quickly and with purpose, we leave less room for the doubt and indecision that make us think too much. This proactive approach to life promotes an action-oriented mindset over a ruminative one. The person making decisions does not do so out of fear or anxiety, but from a place of strength and clarity. Not only do these Stoic virtues help us break out of the cycle of mediocrity, but they also show us what is possible in our lives when we are disciplined and self-controlled. Lesson 6. The power of adaptability and accepting change helps you plan a path to success that is both meaningful and long-lasting. To break the cycle of being average, being let down and overthinking, and to be successful, one must use the Stoic virtue of adaptability. The Stoics, who had a deep understanding of how unpredictable life is, advocated accepting change as a way to develop resilience and grow. Seneca, a great figure in Stoic philosophy, said that being too set in our plans or expectations can cause us to suffer and be frustrated. He instead pushed for a flexible approach to life's challenges, telling us to change our plans and ways of thinking when things change. We can handle the difficulties of life with grace because we are able to adapt. We can turn setbacks into chances to learn and grow. In the Stoic sense, adaptability does not imply laziness or a lack of ambition. Rather, it denotes a dynamic engagement with the present moment, equipped with the wisdom to recognize what is within our control and the serenity to accept what is not. By making our minds open to change, we can break free from the paralyzing grip of overthinking and the disappointment of having our hopes and dreams not come true. We can change direction when we need to and look for new ways to act that are in line with our long-term goals and core values. This willingness to change and grow is what will help us get past the shackles of mediocrity and find a way to success that can adapt to the ups and downs of life. Accepting change also encourages a culture of new ideas and creativity, which are important for striving for excellence. We develop resilience that is impervious to the fear of failing when we see every new challenge as an opportunity to learn and adapt. People around us are more likely to adopt the same mindset, which is good for our own personal and professional growth. As we learn to handle life's ups and downs with ease and confidence, we show others how to break free from cycles of disappointment and not achieving their goals. Not only do we succeed, but we also help move society toward one that is more flexible, strong, and successful. Lesson 7. Why setting limits and making lists are important. Learning how to set clear boundaries and prioritize effectively is a crucial part of overcoming the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. This is a Stoic practice. Stoicism, which stresses living in harmony with nature and focusing on what's important, teaches us how important it is to know the difference between what really matters and what doesn't. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius tells us to focus our minds on what we can control. He suggests that we direct our actions, thoughts, and energies toward the things that are most important to us. With this method, we have to carefully consider our commitments and choose to only do things that are in line with our core values and help us reach our long-term goals. By putting limits on our time and energy, we keep ourselves from getting caught up in things that will only make us mediocre. Prioritizing is more than just getting rid of things that aren't important. It's also about choosing where to put our attention and energy to get the most out of them and feel the most fulfilled. According to this Stoic principle, we should live our lives on purpose, making choices that will lead us to success. To do this, we have to say no to some opportunities and tasks, not out of fear or laziness, but because we know our resources are limited and need to be used wisely. Setting priorities helps us deal with the demands of life with clarity and purpose, making sure that the things we do help us grow personally and professionally. This structured way of living also helps people who can't make decisions because it gives them a clear framework for doing so. It's easier to make decisions when we know what's important to us and what our limits are. This clarity clears out the mental clutter that often keeps us from making decisions and putting things off, letting us move forward with confidence. Setting limits and making lists of things to do help us live a life with meaning and excellence, breaking the cycle of mediocrity and laying the groundwork for long-term success. This lesson from Stoicism not only helps us reach our goals, but it also makes sure that we do so with wisdom, self-respect, and peace of mind. Lesson 8. Using failure as a building block for success. Changing how we feel about failure is a key part of breaking out of the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. Stoicism teaches us to see failure not as a setback, but as a necessary part of success. By taking a practical approach to life's challenges, Marcus Aurelius's reflective writings tell us to gather wisdom from our mistakes and see each one as a chance to improve ourselves and our plans. From a Stoic point of view, we can shift our attention from the fear of failing to the fact that every attempt is a chance to learn. When we accept that failure is a necessary and valuable part of the path to excellence, we free ourselves from the crippling grip of overthinking and the crippling fear of making mistakes. This shift in perspective is necessary to break out of the cycles of mediocrity and disappointment that trap people who don't dare leave their comfort zones. Engaging with failure in a constructive way also builds resilience, which is a quality that is necessary for long-term success. The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or thinking about bad things that might happen, helps us be calm and determined when things go wrong. It helps us prepare for problems and setbacks, not so we can dwell on them, but so we can come up with ways to get past them. This proactive approach ensures that when we fail, we don't give up, but are instead ready to look at what went wrong, learn from it, and move on with more strength and understanding. When we see failure as a stepping stone instead of a problem, it changes our path to success into a journey of constant growth and self-improvement. Achieving great things and being happy is possible by breaking the cycle of mediocrity. Lesson 9. Adopting the Stoic principle of being self-sufficient is a key to success. The Stoic principle of self-sufficiency is deeply intertwined with the process of overcoming the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. Stoicism teaches that the only way to truly be free and powerful is to depend on yourself for happiness and satisfaction instead of looking for it in other people's approval or accomplishments. This idea, supported by philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus, advises us to build an inner fortress of strength and peace from which we can draw resilience and inspiration. By working on being self-sufficient, we give ourselves the tools to handle life's ups and downs calmly, making sure that our happiness and success are not dependent on how things change in the outside world. To break free from the chains of mediocrity, this shift in mindset is essential. It takes us away from the never-ending search for external rewards and toward a more meaningful, virtue-driven life. A sense of clarity and purpose that is crucial for overcoming overthinking and indecision is also fostered by the practice of self-sufficiency. When we know that we have everything we need to be happy and successful, it's easier to make choices when we are less likely to be swayed by other people's thoughts and expectations, and more likely to follow the paths that are in line with our own true values and goals. Being able to think and act on your own is a big part of making a successful life that goes beyond the mediocrity that societal norms and personal insecurities force on you. Through the Stoic practice of self-sufficiency, we not only gain the courage to define success on our own terms, but we also gain the resilience to support it in the face of setbacks. Lesson 10. How to get past being stuck in analysis by taking mindful action. In order to break out of the cycle of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking, Stoicism offers the idea of mindful action, which can change everything. This principle emphasizes how important it is to make decisions and work on tasks with full awareness and purpose, rather than letting regrets from the past or worries about the future take our attention away. Marcus Aurelius is a famous example of the Stoic philosophy. This way of life says that we should do everything with a clear mind and a clear focus, so that our energy is directed toward meaningful goals. This kind of mindfulness in action helps us get over the paralysis that comes from overthinking. It frees us from the chains of not making a decision or putting things off, which keeps us stuck in a life of mediocrity. By making it a habit to be fully present in our activities, we not only become more efficient and effective, but we also get more pleasure from them. Additionally, practicing mindful action helps us feel more connected to our duties and tasks, which leads to a more enriching and satisfying level of engagement. This Stoic way of thinking lessens the disappointment and disillusionment that come up when our actions don't match up with our values. Making sure our actions are in line with our strongest beliefs makes each step a reflection of who we really are and gives our lives a sense of integrity and coherence. By practicing mindful action, we learn to handle the challenges of our goals with poise and determination. Seeing possible setbacks as chances to grow, by doing this, we not only break out of the cycle of mediocrity, but also start on a path to success that is marked by honesty, meaning, and a deep sense of accomplishment. We should carry the torch of enlightenment with us as we learn from the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. It can help us see our way out of the darkness of mediocrity, disappointment, and overthinking. To be successful, you don't need to have any problems. What you need is the strength, resilience, and clarity to get through each one. By practicing the Stoic virtues of mindful action, adaptability, self-reflection, and living in line with our true nature, we can redefine success on our own terms and turn our goals into real achievements. The ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers a very different way to live in a world where telling everyone everything about our lives has become normal. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic philosophers Epictetus and Seneca taught us lessons that have stood the test of time. They taught us how important it is to keep some parts of our lives private. If you don't pay attention to the power of now in life's grand symphony, the present moment becomes the most beautiful and valuable note, full of the possibility of joy, fulfillment, and deep meaning. We often get stuck in the echoes of the past or anxiously look ahead to the uncertain beats of the future. When life gets rough, the Stoic warrior stays calm inside, letting the storms outside determine their own peace. The Stoic advice to let go of what you can't control turns into a holy mantra that will be heard for all time. It tells us to let go of the weight of pointless resistance, loosen our grip on the false promises of power, and let the dance of fate unfold in our hearts. By giving up, we align ourselves with the universe's natural rhythms and stop fighting the current against it. Instead, we become part of a beautiful ballet, giving in to the ebb and flow. Giving in to the cosmic forces helps us find balance, which lets us move with purpose and poise, riding the waves of fate instead of fighting their pull. We start on a journey of receptivity and surrender as we heed Epictetus's wisdom and accept that our story is just one thread in the cosmic tapestry. His advice can comfort us and give us a stronger connection to the vastness of existence by listening to the whispers of the universe. Let go of what we can't control, tune our ears to the cosmic symphony, and dance with humility and grace in sync with the flow and ebb of the cosmic current. On this holy journey, we learn that the path to mind control is lit by the Stoic flame, which is bright and won't bend. On the Stoic path, You don't go on a solo journey, you go with other people. Echoes of Seneca's wisdom bring us together and help us see that we are not the only ones trying to find inner strength. When we all agree on Stoic principles, we become a community of seekers, each navigating the complicated terrain of the soul for the same reason. We are all on this journey together, and it holds us together in a silent agreement that goes beyond the shadows we face. We can follow the bright path that Stoic wisdom left us as we go through the deepest part of self-exploration. It cuts through the darkness and gets rid of the false ideas that are getting in the way of our progress. When we follow the teachings of Stoicism, they help us find the shores of inner strength and resilience. We can find comfort, inspiration, and the strength to face our shadows in the Stoic flame. Finding inner strength isn't something you do by yourself. It's a goal we all share that ties our individual journeys together. May the echoes of Stoic wisdom reverberate through all of our efforts and bring us together in a common goal. May we emerge from the labyrinth not as lost souls, but as shining lights of resilience, illuminating a shadowy world. We learn from the crucible of the Stoic path that suffering can be transformed into a force for good when faced with the resilience that comes from wisdom. Seneca's advice becomes a guiding star, telling us to tell the difference between suffering that is necessary and suffering that is not, and to use the Stoic flame as a lighthouse to show us the way. Let's take this holy journey together, strengthening our inner fortresses with Stoic principles and shining like lights of resilience in a world looking for comfort in the dark. We've traversed through the principles of Stoicism, from understanding what's within our control to embracing obstacles as opportunities for growth. The wisdom of the Stoics is timeless, offering a beacon of clarity in our often tumultuous lives. Remember, Stoicism isn't just a philosophy to be studied, it's a way of life to be lived. The transformation you seek begins with small, consistent steps. Whether it's practicing mindfulness, reflecting on your daily experiences, or simply choosing to respond to challenges with calm and rationality, every effort counts. Life is indeed a continuous journey of learning and growth, and Stoicism offers a sturdy foundation upon which to build. Thank you for dedicating these hours to exploring how Stoicism can transform your life. But remember, this is not the end of the road, it's merely the beginning. As you continue your journey, keep seeking wisdom, practicing virtue, and striving to live a purpose-driven life. Stoicism provides timeless principles that can guide you through life's challenges and triumphs. It's essential to realize that the best time to start your Stoic practice was yesterday. But if you haven't started yet, the next best time is now. Don't dwell on missed opportunities or past mistakes. Instead, focus on taking action in the present moment. Let's carry forward the valuable lessons learned during our exploration of Stoicism and use them to shape a life filled with peace, resilience, and fulfillment. Embrace the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance as you navigate the complexities of life. Farewell for now, but remember that the light of Stoicism will continue to guide your path. May you walk with confidence, knowing that you possess the tools to face whatever challenges come your way. Stay true to yourself, stay committed to growth, and may your journey be blessed with inner tranquility and profound wisdom.